Hi, this is Maggie. Today I'm doing the chart of Ronnie Wood um, of the Rolling Stones, formerly of Faces. Started out with the Birds and Beck, with Beckola. Um, yeah, he played with a lot of groups because of his Uranus in Gemini. That's changeability, liberation, so he'd probably get bored. Geminis get bored very easily. First of all, he is a Gemini. He has Uranus in Gemini. He has his ruler, Mercury in Gemini, all up in the midheaven in the 10th, 10th and 11th houses and the North Node. So he was meant to communicate on a, on a world level. But first, I didn't get to his moon, sorry. But I just jumped to his midheaven because he's got a lot up there. His moon is in Scorpio. Got it out. His moon's in Scorpio in the 4th house. Scorpio's joint resources, sexuality, passion, drive, intensity. And he also has Jupiter. So Moon Jupiter is extremely lucky in the home. And so it's opposed to, he has Venus. Venus in Taurus, and Mars is in Taurus as well on the midheaven. So his midheaven is Taurus. Taurus is ruled by the throat, and he's a beautiful singer. So, yeah. So Venus is, Venus and Taurus just loves beauty, it loves youth, it loves fashion, glamour, all the five senses. I'm sure he satisfied all his five senses and loved doing it, with all these bands. So there was a lot of, passion, sexuality, groupies, you name it, and he indulged because he has Venus conjunct Mars. Well, he made a lot of money for one thing. He made a lot of money because Taurus rules the 2nd house of assets. But at the same time, he had a lot of passion as well for his music. And, the different bands he was with, were on the road a lot. So that would be the Moon-Jupiter conjunction in his 4th house. His home was kind of where he traveled with the band. And, the drugs and sex and all of that would be like scorpionic 4th house. Moon-Jupiter would expand all that, and it would be opposing his Venus and Mars. Venus-Mars conjunction in Taurus is extremely sensual. Very, very sensual. And so I'm sure he ate, drank, snorted, and did everything he could, to satisfy all his senses. Also, his 12th house is Leo. He has Pluto in Leo and Saturn as well in Leo in the 12th house. So those, musically, yeah, it made him a star. Playing with the Rolling Stones. He is a bassist, a bass player. That'd be Scorpio. Yeah, but Pluto and Saturn in the 12th house, he has to be careful, with drugs and alcohol. So, he's still with us today touring, so he's doing okay, I guess. I hope. But yeah, Saturn and Pluto can be malefics in that regard. Just the tendency for escapism is extremely, extremely strong for him. However, it is trining his North Node and Sun, Leo. So musically, put him on top of the world with the Stones. 12th house is Pisces house, so that's music, It's other than escapism, like I was just talking about. It's the arts and music, and being the star would be Leo. So musically, he used that, and that he's got some beautiful sextiles. I'm getting to his Neptune. Yeah, so I'm getting to his Neptune. His Neptune is in the 2nd house of Libra, the arts, so that would be his musicality, playing music through the arts. So it's sextiling Pluto and Saturn in the 12th house and Pisces house. So again, um, yeah, he could make a lot of money through creativity, music and creativity, and that's, thank God, he could pour himself into that, or he will just pour himself another drink or another drug, and that could perhaps even take him out, because Pluto and Saturn in your 12th house are that's pretty heavy duty outer planets. Pluto can be separation, hardship, uh, and Pluto is sitting on your ascendant. His ascendant is Leo. So Pluto, Saturn, and his ascendant are all in Leo, making him a star, but it is sextiling Neptune. And so, yeah, that really helped with his music career for sure. Um, and his Leo stellium is also sextiling his sun. So that helped with his career as well. But, through his communication, through all his groups and singing and everything. He does have a Venus Mercury, a Mercury Uranus conjunction in Gemini. That is really unique. That is why he's so versatile and probably ambidextrous. That's what Geminis are. They're right-handed, left-handed, um, eternally youthful. Mercury's the ruler of Gemini. Uranus takes it to a higher octave. So, he's liberated and played with a lot of different groups. Went to probably a lot of extremes in communication. But it's so the Mercury Uranus conjunction in Gemini, and then his Sun and North Node are there as well. So he was meant to communicate and be experimental in his communication. But they're in conjunct to his Moon and Jupiter in the 4th house. So that could cause some sort of maybe indiscretion at home, possibly, through his expansion of all these things. It could sort of maybe interfere with his home life, or maybe that's a part he doesn't see. Yeah, because Moon, Jupiter, and Scorpio is really expansive emotionally, and could have disrupted his happy home. Like a divorce, maybe. Yeah, just all his maybe indulgences of his senses, and Gemini is just like Peter Pan. They're eternally youthful. So. So that opposition, yeah, it's a very fixed opposition. Fixed Taurus opposed fixed Moon and Jupiter. So he does what he wants when he wants it. No one's really going to tell him what to do. Stubborn, and fixed is stubborn. So he has a fixed T-square. It looks like, yeah, to his 12th house. From his midheaven, his Taurus midheaven, Venus and Mars, and from his 4th house, Moon, Jupiter in fixed Scorpio to fixed Leo. Fixed Leo is very, very stubborn, in the 12th house. So, in his music, it was probably his way or the highway, or if he didn't like something, you would probably hear about it, or he would just leave and maybe form another band, or because he was so gifted creatively that, he could do maybe 5 things at once, So Saturn in Leo in the 12th house gave him staying power, perseverance, staying power in his musical career with the Stones. They're still touring. So that made him a master, and he's still alive. And Pluto, he is a bass player. Yeah, he's a bass player. I just think of Pluto. Yeah, so playing with Keith Richards, that's Pluto. And Mick Jagger, of course, he's a Leo. So yeah, anyway, that's the Rolling Stones. But yeah, his chart is sort of complex. Um, yeah, he's got easy flowing harmonious aspects between his air. He's got to be careful with his Neptune. Uh, Neptune, you know, escapism tendencies, and the opposition to from his fourth to the 10th could, maybe break up his happy home if he has a wandering eye. But yeah, he's got a real blend of elements. He's got he hits you with his ascendant first. 12th house ascendant. So his first house is Virgo. It's Virgo, but his ascendant is Leo. So he's, a basis is kind of behind the scenes, but not. That would be him. That would be him. He'd play in a lot of name bands, but wouldn't maybe be the lead. But really, he is because it's in Leo, right? And he's powerful, powerful presence. That's Pluto, scorpionic presence. He's good looking, attractive, and all of that. So so he hits you with his Leo first, his mystique, because it's in the 12th house. So he hits you with that, and then you see his Neptune in the second house. So he made money through the arts, through Libra, through his beautiful music that he makes. And his Neptune communicates very well with his Sun and his North Node in Gemini, and Uranus and Mercury in Gemini, the conjunction. So they're really in tune. And to be an artist like that, of course, you have to be in tune to get to the top like he did. There's Neptune is also in conjunction. Yeah, I'm not going to get into every single aspect, but it's also in conjunct to his moon, it looks like. So I was going over his elements. He's in air. He's predominantly air. He has Neptune in Libra. He is a Gemini through and through. Everything is up in Gemini in the midheaven. Mercury, the higher octave Uranus, experimental, liberating, freedom, unusual, strange, like strange. Sun and North Node. So he was meant to communicate, and it's in his 10th house of career. And so all his air is Gemini through and through, and Neptune in Libra in the arts. So that's his air is what caught everyone's attention. His fire, Leo, gave him star quality through his music, and his earth, gives him powers of attraction is what it gives him, and a lot of money because Taurus is the money house. You think of Taurus, I associate it with money, material assets, and the second house, what you value. And he has both Venus and Mars there, so he's got the powers of attraction when it comes to, and Venus is the ruler of Taurus as well. So that just really made him a superb musician and gave him powers of attraction as well with women because of the opposition I already talked about between to his moon and Jupiter. It just expanded his powers of attraction. And I'm sure he ran with that. So that was his Earth. His Earth is his Taurus, the midheaven angle, and Venus and Mars and Taurus. So he was meant to use that, and he did, and is. And water is his Scorpio stuff, very strong. Don't forget, he's Scorpio moon. He looks like a Scorpio moon. He kind of projects the Scorpio moon, with the sort of swarthy, dark, tall, dark, and handsome, good looks, and the hair, the hair, and the kind of secretive, behind the scenes, let me see his 8th house. I was just looking for Scorpio's ruler, Mars. yeah, is in Taurus. So yeah, he's using his Mars ruler in his career. So anyway, he's got Moon, Jupiter, and Chiron all in Scorpio. So there may have been some kind of inner wounding going on, some kind of maybe confusion or insecurity, maybe about uh, because it's in Scorpio, maybe his sexuality or communication or something. And Moon and Jupiter just expanded his intuition, his home life, his touring, his international acclaim, um, and his definitely his powers of attraction. And they of course tied in with, he really played on that opposition because he really had that Venus and Mars going for him, and opposed to Moon Jupiter in Scorpio. Yeah, that's extreme, extreme sensuality, sexuality, and that's part of life with the stones, you know? It's like, and those, Jupiter, Jupiter and the moon are square to, that's why he needs to be careful with drugs and alcohol, you know, which maybe he's learned how to do that because um, they are squaring his 12th house, Pluto and Saturn. So, and you know, that's his body, his ascendant, and it's in the 12th house of Pisces. So, um, he's probably learned to go to excess without you know, hurting himself too badly. Is my guess. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. It's just a brief overview of Ronnie Wood's chart, and if you do, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.